welcome to AMN FB Live, where we give you free lessons on various English examinations like IELTS, PTE, OET, MET, TOEFL, and TOEIC. This is the time when the Review Center partners of AMN Healthcare International give free lessons and free info sessions. So, if it's the first or third Monday of the month, it's the turn of 9.09er to give you latest updates on IELTS and other English examinations which are needed for your visa screen or license endorsement. And if it's the second or fourth Monday of the month, it's the turn of the Nursing Review Center partners of AMN to give you free lessons on next generation NCLEX. For 9.09ers discussion twice a month, every third Monday of the month, I'm with Sir Brian Martin Shawson for live lectures, tips and strategies on how to ace your speaking, writing, reading, and listening. But for tonight, since it's the first Monday of the month, we, together with the British Council, are going to feature an IELTS passer. So later, we are going to hear firsthand what this candidate did, what this nurse did in order for her to pass the IELTS examination. But to entice our live viewers to participate in our discussion, tonight we are giving away a free book. So it's up to the winner to decide which book he or she would like to receive. If it's the IELTS book, but if you prefer other English examinations accepted for visa screen and license endorsement, we also have our very own PTE book. And for the nurses who are looking for the most relatable English examination, there's OET for you. And yes, we also have a book for that. And if you are looking for an English examination that requires just 1 to 2 weeks of preparation or even less, there's the MET for you. And we also have a book for that. So if you're the lucky winner for tonight, you are going to receive a free book. But what are the mechanics? Well, it's simple. Just tag as many friends as you can. And by the end of our Facebook Live session, the person or the attendee with the most number of tags gets to win a free book. Once again, welcome to AMN Healthcare International, where we give you free lessons on English examinations. So for tonight, the British Council is going to join us quickly. That's for the first 10 to 15 minutes of the discussion. After that, we are going to feature Miss Nicole, an IELTS passer, so that you can hear firsthand what she did when she took the examination. So hopefully, she can inspire you to also pass your IELTS examination. Now, let's take a look at some of the comments while we are waiting for Miss Jessica of the British Council to join us in our Facebook Live session. So, we have here a comment from AMN. Dreaming of living and working in the United States? Let's make it happen with AMN. So don't forget to click that link. It's amnhealthcare.com/international. And then Sir Philip Edward Aitona, one of our instructors with a CELTA qualification, is also with us. And he said, free book. We repeat, we are going to give a free book to the lucky attendee who tags the most number of friends. Regardless of where you are, please tag as many friends as you can so that they can join this Facebook Live session. And you, as the tagger, will have a chance to win a prize. Now, IELTS as an examination has updates from time to time. Say, for instance, recently here in the Philippines, the British Council announced a price increase. So this is something that you have to know because you have to prepare your budget when you take the exam. However, it's not as if it's purely bad news because the British Council have free review materials that come with the price increase. So for all the latest updates regarding the IELTS, let me present you Miss Jessica Cecil de la Cruz, the Accounts Relationship Manager of the British Council. Meanwhile, I am going to mute myself and turn my camera off, and I'll be back after the presentation of Miss Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Irvin. Thank you, AMN, for inviting us tonight. And yes, we are talking about how you can actually ace your IELTS test to become a USRN. So the British Council is here to talk to you about how you can actually attain it and how we can help you with that. So next slide, please. So IELTS, as the International English Language Testing System, is proudly co-owned by British Council, and it is designed to assess the English language ability of people like yourselves who would like to study, work, or live in the United States, given that English is the language of communication in the United States. So IELTS has been in the market for what, more than 35 years, and we are actually known as the OG in English testing. So, wasn't it for you? What does it mean for you? It only means that. Um, we are trusted by more than 12,500 organizations. We've been here for a long, long time. And so our credibility, our reliability, and validity has been tested many, many times. That is why the requiring institutions that accept IELTS only grows as the year goes by. I remember when I first started marketing about IELTS or talking about IELTS in general, we've we I've been saying that hey, we are accepted by more than 8,500 organizations worldwide. But now, what, more than 10 years since then, we're now saying it's we are accepted by more than 12,500 organizations worldwide. So we are trusted by these organizations because we have trusted multi-layered security measures, of course, to ensure the veracity and the fairness of the test. Next, please. So it's your test and it's your choice. You can take the test via paper or computer. It's all up to you. People will ask us, which is easier, paper or computer? We just return the question and ask them which one is much more comfortable for you, or which one is actually where you're most comfortable in. So, for example, if you ask me, I'd say IELTS on computer. But if you ask Irvin, he would say definitely IELTS on paper because he's used to pen and paper testing. But there are a lot of differences and, of course, similarities for these two test formats. Um, Basically, they are the same test, so you don't have to worry. So it's the same components: listening, reading, writing, and even the speaking test. So you need to go to a test venue, take the written test, and do the interview via video call speaking in the test center. Both academic and general training modules are available for IELTS on paper and IELTS on computer. They are on the same price. So, Irvin mentioned that there has been a price change announcement recently. So, the IELTS test is at present at 13,660 pesos. Now, for paper test, the results are released 13 calendar days after the test. So you need to make sure that you incorporate that to your timeline. While computer test results are released faster because you can actually receive your results 24 hours after your test. So the maximum time would be about 48 hours or 2 days after the test. But oftentimes candidates would already receive their results the next day. And for the results, for paper test takers, you need to wait for your results, your printed copies of results to be delivered to your mailing address. So just a correction, we just provide one personal copy per candidate. And then, unlike for computer tests, you will only receive or you will receive what we call an electronic copy of your test report form, which you can download from your profile. So that means no more waiting, no more anxiety of how many copies you need because you actually have an electronic copy already. Paper test is done 3 to 4 times in a month, while for IELTS on computer, we do it on a daily basis in Metro Manila, and we do have 5 locations in Metro Manila alone. And in other provinces, because we have about 20 test venues for computer tests, we do it on a weekly basis. So you have much more choices in terms of the schedule, and it's much more flexible compared to IELTS on paper. So for paper tests, we deliver the test in more than 25 locations in the Philippines, while for computer tests, it's 20 test locations. Recently, we announced that we launched our IELTS on computer test venue in Iloilo, care of our partnership with 9.09ers. So please anticipate that the registrations will soon be opened. Now, one last difference of IELTS on paper versus IELTS on computer, if in case you miss to get the band score that you need. For IELTS on paper, unfortunately, you need to retake all four components. However, for IELTS on computer, if let's say you only need to retake the speaking part of the test, you can actually do that through what we call the one skill retake option. So you have that one more chance to take that one component again. So you'll have more chances of getting your band score requirement. You'll be more focused. More importantly, you will retake a test that you are already familiar with. Next, please. So this is the IELTS test format. We have, of course, academic and general training. For nurses bound to the US, you need to take the academic module test. And then you will, of course, take the four test components. We have the written parts of the test, listening, reading, writing, and then the one-on-one interview, which is done via video call, still inside the test venue, the speaking test. And the speaking test remains to be a live interview with a live examiner because, according to a study conducted by Cambridge, a live interview is still the best way to gauge a person's English ability. So we are sticking to that. Right, next, please. So why should you take the IELTS test with the British Council? Of course, there are more test sessions and test locations to choose from. So we mentioned that paper tests can be done in 25 test locations, while for computer tests, it's for 20 test locations from Luzon, Visayas to Mindanao. If you are located abroad, the British Council office is actually located globally. So as long as there's a British Council office in your country, you can actually take the test. So this is our website. This is um what you can see if you scan the QR code, and that's where you can find the test dates, the requirements, how you can book the test, and of course the actual registration portal. Thanks, please. So if you are already ready to take the test, let's say you are registered to take the IELTS on computer test soon, or maybe you're someone who's um not yet decided and you're thinking whether you'll take paper or computer, etc., um, we can actually help you through our IELTS on computer familiarization test. It's an actual mock test of the actual computer test. You will take the listening, reading, writing parts of the test. And if you complete it for 3 hours, because again, it's a mock test, you will receive results for your reading and listening sections to be sent directly to your email. All you need to have is your laptop and an internet connection. You don't need to register, you just need to input your email address, and that's it. You take the test for 3 hours so that you can already be familiar with how the system is, because that's the goal of the familiarization test, for you to be familiar with, taking taking the computer test, how to navigate the system, so that you'll be more confident during the test. Or if you are indecisive, at least you would already have an experience taking the computer test. And good news, most if not all of our IELTS on computer test venues from Luzon, Visayas to Mindanao, especially those that are um, partnered with 9.09er, they offer free IELTS on computer mock test. So they use our system. The advantage is that you would be able to already experience taking the test inside your preferred test venue. So if I were you, you can actually directly contact Niner for the locations of the venues or even the schedule of the mock test. I tell you, we have, again, venues from Luzon, Visayas to Mindanao. And in Metro Manila alone, we do have 5 locations. These are, of course, in our flagship office in Taguig City. We have Makati with 9.09er, Manila with 9.09er, Quezon City with Systems Plus Computer College. And then the last one, the first and only IELTS on computer test venue in a mall, care of Enderon and Podium. Right, next please. We also have a lot of upcoming events partnered with 9.09er, and we will bring iPass. A known IELTS partner of ours, and of course, a company that helps people apply for their NCLEX test, and of course, prepare for it so that you can actually go and work as a US, as an RN in the US. So these are the locations we've done. Manila, in 9.09 P Camp office last month. So we will be in Cavite at the end of the month. So please join us. All those who are living in the south, please do sign up. We will bring our partners so you can talk to them. You can also avail of the promos or freebies on the day of the event. Niner, I heard we'll be giving away 20 IELTS books for those who are coming. So if I were you, go sign up. If not in Cavite, check out all these other venues, locations. We have Batangas, Tuguegarao, Makati, Laguna. Until November, we will do it monthly until we see you and until we make sure that you will all be ready to sign up for your tests. Thank you. Next, please. We also have ongoing promos. So this one we have for IELTS on computer test. This is an extended promo. Last the first one was IELTS Sulit. Now we have IELTS Sulit 2. So you will have 1,000 pesos savings if you use the promo code IELTS Sulit 2 single S. And then of course you'll have an access to IELTS Ready Premium, which is exclusively free to all IELTS British Council Philippines test takers. And take note, it's 10,000 pesos. So if you sign up with us, definitely you'll get it free, the IELTS Ready Premium Review material. And then use the promo code as well and save about 1,000 pesos from your IELTS test. So this is applicable in select locations in the Philippines. So please feel free to check our website. The address is britishcouncil.ph to know more about the details of the promo. Next, please. We also have an ongoing promo we call the IELTS Prize Video Contest. So, the IELTS Prize, so what's the IELTS Prize? It's actually a program uh, to support IELTS test takers in the Philippines, Indonesia, and Myanmar. So, three countries are have signed up for this or have already opened this contest. Next, please. And all you need to do is to submit an English video not less than 2 minutes of your IELTS test of your IELTS journey. So the condition is that you took the test recently or will take the test in September before the deadline so that you can be part of the contest. Okay? So you will or you can be one of the winners or you'll have a chance to win to be one of the five winners of 75,000 pesos. So you you can be a winner. You have shared your inspiring story to the world, and of course, motivated a lot of our fellow Filipinos to take that first step to jumpstart their journey, towards their dreams and goals, diba? So it's already a bonus that you will be one of the five winners of the cash prize. So if I were you, for those who are watching right now and you recently took the test, or is planning to take the test around September, make sure that you join our IELTS Prize video contest. Next, please. So these are our contact details. If you have any questions, concerns, or clarifications after this live, you can email us, call us up, message us on Facebook. Even you can even check our Facebook page for our announcements, promos, etc. Or you can check our website, britishcouncil.ph. We have a live chat there where uh, our customer services team will talk to you regarding your concern. Life. All right. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and we hope that you will be inspired by the story of our guest for tonight. Thank you, Sir Irvin. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you, Ayman.
Thank you so much for your time, Miss Jessica. Once again, that's Miss Jessica de la Cruz, the Exams Accounts Relationship Manager of the British Council in the Philippines. But don't get us wrong, this Facebook Live session is not just for Filipinos. This Facebook Live session is for everyone who would like to improve their chances of making it in the IELTS examination. That is why we are going to feature an IELTS passer shortly. Before Miss Nicole is going to join us, let's take a look at some of the comments of our live viewers. So we have Latia Daka watching us all the way from Zambia. Good morning, good afternoon to our dear brothers and sisters in the other parts of the world. And then Jennifer is also watching us tonight, or tonight here in Asia, but in other parts of the world, it could be morning, it could be afternoon. Also, we would like to thank Miss Jennifer for her comment, and she's asking if the pre-test is for free. Well, if you're qualified to enjoy the sponsorship of AMN Healthcare International, this is the process. All the nurses who would like to go to the United States must first take their NCLEX. And after you pass your nursing examination, that's when you will be referred to the Review Center Partners or the English Review Center Partners of AMN Healthcare International. So if you're qualified, AMN is going to endorse you to us. And 9.09er offers daily lectures, daily one-on-one coaching, and that also includes the review materials which are already uploaded on your dashboard. So to answer the question of Jennifer right here, if you are qualified, yes, there are mock examinations, there are pre-test materials available on your Niner IELTS online review dashboard. And thank you, Miss Cheryl, for responding, and she's joining us all the way from Saudi Arabia for tonight. Now, I would like to remind everyone that during this Facebook Live session, we are giving away a free book. And what are the four options for the winner to choose from? This is our IELTS Book 2025 edition. We started with this book in 2007, and 18 years later, this is our 2025 edition. If some of you feel that PTE is the examination that will help you go to the United States of America, we also have a book for that. And then I'm sure there are nurses who are looking for medical related topics in their English exam. That's the reason why occupational English test is equally popular among the nurses. And I know there are those of you who are in a hurry to take their English examination. They don't want to spend several weeks or several months for the preparation. That's why there is the Michigan English test, which is considered to be the easiest to prepare for. In 1 to 2 weeks, you're able to get the required band scores, and this is the book that we have. So the lucky winner gets to choose which of the four books he or she would like to receive. And I'd like to repeat the mechanics. The person who tags the most number of friends wins the free book. So at this point, let's welcome Miss Nicole, one of our featured IELTS passers, to share her journey. So, Miss Nicole, will you please greet our live viewers worldwide?
Hello everyone. I hope you hear me clearly. You hear me clearly.
Yes.
Greetings from the Philippines. Hello everyone. Good evening.
Okay, so let's talk about the IELTS journey of Miss Nicole over here. I'm certain that when people prepare for the examination, there is a subtest that they consider the easiest, and there is also the subtest that they consider the most difficult. So let's ask Miss Nicole, which subtest did she find the easiest? And that's for our viewers to know that perhaps you can also start with that subtest so that you won't be overwhelmed with your preparation. Miss Nicole, which subtest did you find the easiest?
Okay, among all four, though this is very subjective, among all four, I found reading subtest the easiest for me because it's self-paced. So reading, aside from I really love reading, the reading subject because of the structure that it has, it reduces the pressure to answer questions. Also, in reading subtests, answers can be traced easier compared to the other subtests in IELTS. Plus, as a visual learner, I really love to. I mean, I learn fast, especially if I see what I'm answering to. So for me, it's the reading subtest that I found really the easiest subtest in IELTS.
Thank you so much, Miss Nicole. And I'd like to echo what she said. If you're not going to write sentences, you're not going to deliver a speech. All of the answers are found in the passage. What's left for you to do is to find the correct answer in the passage. And what's most important, if you are a nurse planning to go to the United States of America, you do not need a specific score in the reading subtest. And if you're a beginner, here's what you need to go to the United States. For the speaking subtest, it has to be 7. And then overall band score must be 6.5. And this means to say that you can get any grade that you want for listening, reading, and writing as long as your overall band is 6.5. Now that leads us to the question, what grade is safe in listening, reading, and writing? The answer is 6. Because if you do the mathematics, a 7 in speaking, 6 in listening, 6 in reading, and 6 in writing will give you 6.5 overall band score. But someone argued and said, sir, the average is not 6.5, it's 6.25. So how did it happen? In IELTS, remember, there is no such thing as 0.25 and 0.75. It's either zero point 0 or zero point 0.5. Meaning to say, if you got an average of 0.25, it's rounded up to 6.5. The question is, what's the raw score in order to get a 6 in reading? That's 24 over 40. So Miss Nicole is actually right all along. Even if you commit a lot of errors, with a 24 over 40, you can still go to the United States of America. So, Miss Nicole emphasized earlier that this is subjective. So, for her, she found reading subtest the most manageable. But what about the most challenging subtest for Miss Nicole? And what did you do to make sure that you get the required band score for this supposed to be most challenging subtest?
Okay, for the most challenging subjects in IELTS, for me it's the listening. So I think a lot of people can relate to me. I'm not really do at multitasking, and in listening you need to do a lot of different tasks. So number one, you need to understand, interpret, and remember what you hear immediately. That's why I really find it um challenging. At the same time, it creates pressure that you need to stay focused all the time. That's why I really found it difficult to get the a target band score that I needed at time. But luckily, when I took the exam, I was able to get my target band score, and because of I think I did what I did before the exam. So number one, I tried to really make time to listen to podcasts, TED Talks, Spotify podcasts, anything that I can get a hold of. I listen to them at the same time, I when I listen, I try to really actively listen for key points. I don't just listen to be familiar with the vocabulary, but also for I listen so that I can really get the detail or idea of what they were talking about. At the same time, I practice spelling and widen my vocabulary so that I can recognize words even if they are not spoken with clarity, given that we have different accents to learn. So I think that paid off because I was able to get my target band score for listening.
Woohoo! Congratulations for getting the target band score. You know what? Miss Nicole is right because in listening, you cannot be mentally preoccupied. You have to stay focused because you cannot hear the recording the second time around. And yes, you need to multitask. But what multitasking are we talking about? Your ears must be busy in paying attention to the recording. Now, your eyes must be busy in looking at the questions, in reading the items, and in making sure that you don't miss the correct answer. And your hands, your fingers must be also busy in taking notes. So you see, there are three tasks that you have to do at the same time while staying focused and fighting short attention span. But fortunately, if you are a nurse planning to go to the United States of America, you don't need a specific band score for listening. It's the speaking subtest which is deemed to be the most important. And this is not just for IELTS. If you look at all the other English examinations, if you need to go to if you are going to the United States, it's the speaking subtest, which the grade in speaking must always be higher than the other subtests. So let's focus on speaking this time. Initially, what were your struggles in the speaking subtest, and what did you do in order to overcome these and get the required band score ultimately in the end?
Okay, first speaking, since I'm an introvert person, I don't usually talk to people unless I'm being talked to. So one practice I did was really practice in front of the mirror to really not get nervous when I speak the language English. At the same time, I try to expose myself to different topics that I can talk about because IELTS has a very vast topics. Anything can be talked about, anything under the sun. So, aside from practicing the speaking the language and exposing myself to questions, I also tried to read, not to um, not not just for me to widen my vocabulary, but also to feed my mind information that will help me, talk about the topics that might be possibly asked during the exam.
I'd like to add to that. Knowing that speaking subtest is the most important for nurses to go to the United States, that's exactly the reason why AMN Healthcare International endorses their qualified nurses to us for free English review, meaning to say the qualified nurses don't need to spend a single centavo. They're sent to us for the live lectures. And this is the most important part, daily one on one coaching with a speaking instructor. Sometimes, if you're an introvert, it is difficult for you to express your thoughts, especially if you're not fond of talking to people. But if there is a coach you can talk to on a day to day basis and practice your conversational English, then it will maximize your chances of getting the required band scores. And speaking of this strategy of Niner, the daily one on one coaching, let's ask Miss Nicole, which of the features or the services of Niner did you find most helpful when you prepared for the examination? That's why you were able to pass the test.
Okay. First thing is the coaching sessions. I think they were very helpful because I get to check by coaches what level I'm at already, especially if your exam is nearing, you really need some guidance. So that one thing really helped me a lot. And aside from that, the availability of materials from our dashboard. So I downloaded materials, IELTS materials, and from there I was able to take several mock exams, and that really helped me get familiar with the structure of the exam, which I think were really helpful because that same structure was not exactly the same, but very similar to the exam, to the actual exam when I took it um, back then.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on the review materials on our dashboard and the daily one on one coaching with your instructor. Now, this time, let's compare IELTS and the other English exams. So, we know for a fact that there are a lot of English examinations available in the market, but why did you choose IELTS over the other English tests?
Mhm. I chose IELTS before when I decided to take an English exam because I knew that it's one of the most widely accepted English exams globally, and at the same time, it's almost available everywhere. I'm living in the province, but I was able to see schedules within in testing centers within my um, region, and at the same time, the availability of test schedules since I was at the time when I decided to take the exam, I was also working, so there's just a very small window for me um, to really decide what time or date will I be taking the exam. So the availability of test schedules, even if it's just 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from your desired date, really helped me, or it was helped me to really decide that I will be taking IELTS for my English test requirement. At the same time, it has a clear scoring system. It's very straightforward. Band 0 to 9 for all the subjects clearly states your skill. I mean, it interprets and really um, the scoring system in IELTS is much better explained than the other English tests. That's why I decided to take IELTS and not other English tests.
That's very clear. And if you're going to the United States of America, remember that there are two reasons why you need to pass an English exam. Number one is your visa screen, and there are six English exams to choose from. But the second reason is license endorsement. And for those of you who do not know, IELTS is the only English examination literally accepted by all states, which means to say if you choose a different exam for your visa screen, sometimes you might end up taking IELTS for your license endorsement because the other exams are not accepted by that particular state board of nursing where you're planning to go to. So, if you want to hit two birds with one stone, your visa screen and your license endorsement, then IELTS is the preferred English examination. Well, there are two IELTS testing center providers, right? There's the British Council and IDP. But in this case, why did you choose the British Council, Miss Nicole?
Okay. I chose British Council before to take my IELTS exam because of its availability and accessibility from our house. That's the first reason. It's very accessible to transport system, and at the same time, um, British Council is refutable and trusted. So I certainly believe that um, the exam will be smooth and at the same time will be good experience for me to take it with British Council. Because I heard that they release results promptly. So since I will be taking the exam computer delivered, I think it's best that I take it with British Council since they will out their results. I think within 24 or 48 hours after the exam. That is yeah.
That is correct because now you get to receive your results within 24 hours. Gone were the days when you have to wait for 13 days. You don't have to spend 5 sleepless nights because before you have to wait for 5 days for your IELTS on computer results to be released. But now within 24 hours, you get to find out your band scores in the IELTS. Now, let's move on to the last two questions. The first one is please tell us about your actual examination experience. Like, how early did you arrive there? How were the test proctors? Were they friendly, accommodating, and what happened at the examination venue? Was it conducive and all that? Please share your actual examination experience so that our other viewers get to know what to expect.
Mm. When I took the exam with British Council before, I really arrived early because I don't wanna be late. I think they don't accept examinees, even if they're 1 minute late. So I really um did my best to arrive early on the testing center. And at the testing center, staff were really accommodating and friendly. Given the pressure that I was feeling that day, I think it helps that they are. very friendly towards us. They answered our questions, not just my question, but also questions of other examinees that particular day. So they're really accommodating. Even if we're just we 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 have asked multiple questions already, they don't seem to get annoyed with us. Plus, um, it was a smooth registration. When before the exam, the actual exam, there is a registration, and it was really just fast. I think few minutes, 5 minutes tops. When I took the exam last year, and then the environment is really quiet. You can really focus on your exam. Plus, I think the location was pretty favorable for me because I don't have a car, so I did commute that day. It was a smooth travel because location of the testing center was strategically located at the business center of particular city in Manila. So my actual experience was rather smooth. The it was really challenging for me to take all four in one day, but I was able to ace it and get my target band score given the help of the staff at the testing center that day. I think it greatly impacts the performance of the examinees, how the staff are, you know, how they are, how they treat examinees at the testing center. So I think it was really a good experience. I'm given that the staff were really friendly, accommodating with it to us.
It's nice to know that you had a pleasant experience taking the actual IELTS examination with the British Council. And just like that, we have reached the last question for this particular talk show. So, my question is, what are your last few words of advice to share to the nurses who are currently preparing for their English examination? Perhaps they need words of encouragement from an IELTS passer like you, Miss Nicole.
Okay, so if you will be taking the exam soon, I would really greatly advise that you stay calm and focused all the time. Do not panic. And even if you've missed one item, especially in the listening subtest, try not to dwell on that particular item. And of course, manage your time wisely. Whether you're taking writing, reading, or listening, manage your time wisely and try to practice mock exams as much as you can and do rationalization after. Check where it went wrong or why your answer is wrong. Try to always go back and discuss them. At the same time, during the actual exam, bring only what is needed. Bring your ID, a pen, probably. But any access to that, I think there's no need to bring them at the testing center. This will also help you really focus, and that is what you need to do that day, and that is to take the exam to the best of your ability, and use every minute wisely. Whether you're practicing at home, um, or taking the actual exam, try to use every minute allotted for you to answer wisely. And good luck.
Thank you so much for the valuable insights, Miss Nicole. And I hope that you will be an inspiration to your fellow reviewees and they too will become an IELTS passer like you. So, now, we would like to encourage the nurses who have not yet jump started anything with your application to the United States. Please make sure to send AMN Healthcare International a message, or you can also visit their website and send an email. After you apply, you're going to receive a prompt, or you're going to receive an email or communication from AMN Healthcare International. Guys, don't forget AMN Academy, which happens every Monday at 9 p.m. Philippine time. And if it's first or third Monday of the month, it's the turn of 9.09er English to give you free lessons. Third Monday of the month, that's when we give you free lectures. And then first Monday of the month, latest IELTS updates from the British Council. And we have a featured passer, just like Miss Nicole right here. So 4 Mondays from now, we're going to introduce you to another IELTS passer who is going to share his or her success story. And second and fourth Monday of the month, don't forget the free NCLEX lessons. Also, there is the Onwards and Upwards show every Friday night. Earlier, we promised that we're going to give a free book. And the most active live viewer for tonight is none other than Latia Daka. So congratulations. Kindly message 9.09er English, or you can message Irvin Neil Temporal on Facebook so that we can coordinate and send you your prize for tonight. And we have reached the end of our Facebook Live session. We would like to thank everyone who joined us. We have Miss Nicole, we have Miss Jessica, and all our live viewers. We are looking forward to you having or attending our next AMN Academy live session. For now, thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.